Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley said Tuesday that she thinks it would be in the best interest of the country and the Democratic Party if President Biden resigned. In an interview on The Hugh Hewitt Show, Haley said she agreed with the host who wrote in an op ed published Tuesday in Fox News calling on Biden to resign. Yes, I do, Haley said when asked whether she believes Biden should resign. And I think the Democratic Party knows that. And I think that it is not just in the best interest of their party, it's in the best interest of the country. Haley continued, taking shots at former President Trump and Biden, who are the respective frontrunners for 2024 Republican and Democratic nominations, respectively. What I will tell you, and I have said this from the very beginning, the party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that will win. We cannot have a country in disarray and a world on fire and have two presidential candidates in their 80s. We need someone who's going to put 8 years into making sure that we are disciplined, focused on getting our economy, the border, preventing war, and getting our country back on track, she said. The remarks come after special counsel Robert Hur released a report investigating Biden's handling of classified documents that Biden could not remember the years he served as vice president, calling him elderly, touching on the president's biggest political vulnerability heading into the 2024 election. While Democratic senators who have spent time with Biden recently said he remains sharp mentally and that they don't notice any diminution of cognitive abilities, some still worry about the damage that the narrative could do to his reelection bid. Well, first of all, Haley is not changing anything here. We haven't had a president resign over 40 years. And even though Biden is the second president after Nixon to be elected while being a former vice president, he's not going to follow him into being the second one to resign. Part of that is ego. He's wanted to be president for his whole life. The other part of it is that there's no reason for him to feel like, oh man, I need to get out of here, because his party's behind him pretty thoroughly. And even the few people who have challenged him are not really, they weren't able to really crack a dent in his support. The party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that will win. Well, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a Biden versus Trump rematch. So one of the parties is going to have an 80-year-old candidate and win anyway. We cannot have a country in disarray and the world on fire and have two presidential candidates in their 80s when we need someone who's going to put 8 years into making sure we are disciplined. Well, this is weird because it's like both Trump and Biden, whoever wins, if these are the two nominees, which it looks like it will be, neither one of them can serve out a third term because they both have had one term. So that's not really based on their age. That's just it's simply a matter of you have a former president running against the person who beat him, and now they both have a single term, and whoever wins is going to have one more and then be out of the way, and then their party can run other people. So it's just a weird comment on her part, because it really you don't need 8 years to be disciplined, focus on getting the economy, the border, none of this stuff is something that requires 8 years of work. In fact, she said, I believe Trump was the right president at the right time. Well, hell, you praised him for his immigration policy, and you were his UN ambassador, so you obviously agree with his foreign policy views. And you talk. I mean, the way she speaks about Trump when he was actually president is one of the reasons why she doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of actually being able to usurp him, because you can't praise your opponent and then try to also run against them. You have to, if you want to win a race, draw a line in the sand. This person did this good, but they also did this bad. This person was okay on this, but they were horrible on that. And she's just never been able to really stop trying to toe that line, and it's unfortunate. What else do I put here? I think this is pretty much it. It's a stupid comment. Biden resigning is not in the best interest of the country, because if he resigns, we're going to get Harris, and then Haley will move on to talking about how she's been such a disaster and she's going to destroy America and ruin everything, and all the usual rhetoric that they use, all that tough talk. So even if Biden were to resign, it still would not be seen by Haley as actually improving things. It would just be her moving to another target. And I don't know if it's in the best interest of the Democratic Party if they're all in for him. The voters said they wanted a primary challenge to Biden, but look at what happened in New Hampshire. They voted 60-something% for him, and he wasn't even on the ballot. So all I'm getting at is the Democratic Party is all in for Biden. Him resigning will never happen. He's more likely to just pass away in office than leaving willingly. Again, some of that is ego, but some of that is just enabling from his party. He doesn't feel like there's an actual challenge to him, or that there's like a steady group of people who are dedicated to seeing him go. And most of the people who want to be president that are significantly younger won't have to face these issues of cognitive decline being a thing that's used against them. They're sitting back sitting pretty, waiting for 2028 so they can actually make a run for it themselves. Haley is someone who probably would have been better off doing that too, but she thought she could Trump, and instead she's getting trumped by Trump. So I think her comments are part of that same incendiary. Like, you can go and look up pretty much every president has been called for by someone to had some political rival call for them to resign for like the last several decades. It's not new. I remember all the people that called for Obama to resign. It's has nothing to do with age or any actual issue. It's just, we don't like you. We know we probably won't be able to beat you in your attempt at getting another term. So please step down. Pretty please.